Hi, I'm Tom Armfield, and I wasn't until I was an adult, just got married, that became a Christian, but I knew that I wanted that for my children. So in doing that, I looked around for a church and especially found the Open Door that had a school associated with it. Brought my son here and enrolled him in CCS and just started getting him oriented in the sixth grade. Then I had two more children, girls, and they both, we enrolled them. It was pretty unique and exciting because at the time I was part of building the school that most of you students know today up here on the hill. Life's been exciting. The whole environment around the school and the teachers and how they can be a part of it. And it's not about politics. It's about learning, teaching the kids to grow up morally and spiritually and to love the Lord and to know what's right. And of course, that's paid off because they've sent their kids to the Christian school, and they've actually come to CCS and the grandkids, and so just being around that environment, they know where they want to go to school, they know they want to go to a Christian college. And in this time and life that we're all in, that's important. I can't emphasize how much the school's meant to me and my children and my grandchildren. So can't say enough about it. It's just been exciting and glad to have been part of it.
I just like it because not many people get the opportunity to go to a Christian school, and it's kind of like where we can kind of get together with other Christians and grow spiritually, and just not many people get that opportunity because people are judged so easily in other public schools and stuff. So it's just nice that we can just be with fellow Christians, have fellowship, chapels, and just stuff like that. I like my history teacher, Mr. Kern, just because he's brought a lot of I guess you could say youth back to the school, and he just makes classes fun and stuff like that. And he just pays a lot of individual attention to the students, and I just like that.
My name's Gavin Jennings, most of you know, but I graduate of Carroll Christian in 2004. I'm now an employee since last year. Sometimes feel a lot of pressure because I hold the teachers that taught me in such high regard that I don't feel like I'm worthy sometimes of being basically a peer at this point. Definitely a privilege, definitely an honor, but like I said, something I don't always feel worthy of. So it's definitely neat to come back and give back to something that's given so much to me. Going to a public school through sixth grade gave me the perspective of really appreciating the privilege to come here. I'm always grateful to think the fact that when I was in school, I wasn't the type that looks back now and says I appreciate it and consider it a blessing. I, at the time, valued my teachers, valued the things I got to enjoy here, and that's only increased now as I look back. It's something that I'm much more appreciative of and consider it a blessing to have been able to sit under the teaching of the same teachers here today, Mr. Beard, Dr. Britton, Dr. Freed, and the list goes on. So many of them that taught me that, like I said before, now are my peers. Carroll Christian means so much to me, and definitely every day when I come into work, I think, am I able to give back even just a small part of what Carroll Christian has given to me? And that's definitely my goal each day, each week, each year. Coming in each day with a grateful heart for what Carroll Christian has meant to me hopefully makes me do a better job each day.
My name is Joseph Perek. Well, I like to go to CCS because Miss Ward has been a great teacher, and I just realized she's my teacher since she's been my fourth grade Sunday school teacher.
Hi, my name is April Pugh, and we have been a part of CCS since 1995, I believe, 96. CCS has been a part of our lives and has blessed us in so many ways. The teachers all reached out to each one of my children and met the needs that they had and actually challenged them and actually were able to teach them exactly not the new worldly standards on English, math, and reading, but they actually taught them in a way that was more of the old school but it was such a challenge for them that they learned excessively well under the teaching of the school, and we were totally blessed by that, and just the outreach of each teacher that impacted their lives. From each person, Mr. Beard was just incredible with his teaching, and Miss Oaksonen at the time when she was here, and Mr. Goodwin when he was Joshua's first teacher, Brian Goodwin. And so each step that they took, each year that they had, excelled them, and they thoroughly enjoyed their time here at CCS. And it's such a blessing also that now my grandchildren, Jen and Josh's children, are now enrolled in CCS, and Nolan is in 3rd grade. And I've never seen a child actually want to go and do his homework so eagerly. And Mrs. McLaughlin has been such a blessing too with him. And then with Jeremy, Josh's young, son, he's in pre-K, and that has been a blessing too. He loves coming to school. And I know each person here that has experienced CCS has felt the same way, that it's a really positive, Christ-centered atmosphere with a lot of great teachers and outreach for the kids, but it's also a part of your life, and it continues in years to come. So I know you'll love it.
My name is Christopher,
What grade are you in, Christopher?
1st grade,
Who's your teacher?
Mrs. Beard.
Do you like coming to CCS?
Yes.
My name's Joel Mason, and my wife Patty and I have our son Aiden here at Carroll Christian School. He's in the 6th grade. And, you know, this is our 7th year here at the school. And we get asked by a lot of people frequently, how did you guys end up at CCS almost 7 years ago? And the truth is, I really don't know. I don't know why we came here. For you see, we did not have any friends or family members who went to the Church of the Open Door. We didn't know anyone who went to Carroll Christian Schools, but somewhere, somehow, we ended up enrolling in the kindergarten class with Mrs. DeWitt. And I think sometimes God's grace and favor works ahead of us. You know, the Bible's full of examples. When I look at Abraham and King David, God was always ahead of their lives, somewhere working out a plan for them. So I think there's probably a strong possibility we came here the very first time, probably because of God's grace. And I think really the important question is not why did we come here, but why do we come back every year? And I think every year we feel forced to come back, almost propelled to come back, because the previous year has kind of dictated that we go back to the next grade the next year. I'll give you an example. In kindergarten, Mrs. DeWitt disappointed me and did something that was just terrible. She taught my son how to read. And from that point forward, he didn't want his dad reading to him anymore. He wanted to be an independent reader on his own. And because she taught my son to read, we came back and had to enroll in 1st grade because what we got in kindergarten was so strong and so good. When I look at Mrs. Beard in the 1st grade, she laid a foundation beyond a doubt that gave my son solid work habits, reading, writing, mathematics, or arithmetic. We go to 4th grade. What can you say about Mrs. Eckert? Okay, I'll tell you this. Mrs. Eckert did a great job in 4th grade with Aiden. But even today, Mrs. Eckert loves my son so much that today she helps him and tutors him in some areas he's struggling with, on her time, on her schedule, when she's off the clock, if you would, as a teacher. 5th grade, if we did not have Terry Ward as our 5th grader, 5th grade teacher, we would have never been prepared to go into middle school. She laid a foundation that prepared Aiden to be more independent, to think for himself more, to be more responsible. It was just 5th grade was a great year that helped us transition so easily into 6th grade. So I think finally, if I had to look at the school as a whole, there's something that our teachers offer that we kind of as parents take for granted a little bit. And The fact is, every teacher in this school, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the ones who've taught my son, the ones who teach him now, and the ones who've never had him in a classroom, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am convinced they love my son unconditionally. And it's not who my son is, and he's a good kid, he's a good boy, I love him with all my heart. But they love my son unconditionally because of who they are. As disciples of Jesus Christ, they take the great commandment to love one another very seriously. So it's a great school. Don't know how we ended up here, but I know why we come back every single year.
What's your name?
Abby,
Whose class are you going to be in next year, Abby?
Miss Grego.
Are you excited?
Hi, my name is Camille. I'm in 6th grade and I like CCS because of all the family and friends that are there, and that I like all of my teachers, but I like Miss Brown a lot because she makes all the subjects that I have with her come alive. She's really fun to be with, and that she helps us learn a lot, and that's basically why I have a lot of good grades and for all the teachers. So.
My name's Emily Russell, and I'm so thankful to be able to be a small part of Carroll Christian Schools and have my children here this year. We've really been so very blessed for so many reasons for having our children here this year. One of the things, we've known Jeff and Patty George for a long time, and years ago we were going through kind of a trying time. My husband had been really sick, and we had just had our daughter, and I was only home maybe a day or two from the hospital. And I will never forget Patty George calling me up and saying, "Emily, I'm going to come and bring you dinner tonight." And she came to my house and brought this amazing dinner, and Justin was still at work, and she had me lay on the couch while she dished out the bowls to all of my children. And I will never forget, I was sitting there and I was just so relieved. My parents live far away, and it was just such a huge blessing to have somebody come and help us. And as I'm sitting there, she stayed and she played with the kids, and I look over and Patty is scrubbing my dining room floor for me on her hands and knees. And I am just so humbled to be able to have my children in a class with somebody that is such a servant. When we sent our kids here, my oldest son Nate was my biggest concern. He's very shy and maybe a little bit more withdrawn than my other kids, and I wasn't sure how he was going to do. And God knew that we needed Mrs. Eckerd. And within the first couple of weeks, Mrs. Eckerd met with me, and she talked to me about my son, and not just about his academics, but she had gotten to know him and know who he was, and that meant the whole world to me. Mrs. Eckerd has an amazing sense of humor. I laugh every time I'm outside of her classroom for more than 3 seconds and I hear her talking. She is an amazing teacher, and she has been such a gift to our family, and we're so thankful for these teachers that have been willing to serve here. And then Mrs. DeWitt has been just wonderful. She is a great kindergarten teacher. I think she was made for it. I've never not seen her with a smile on her face and a ready giggle on her lips. We're just so thankful for the humble people that are serving our kids in such great ways here.
My name is Kyle Green, and I attended CCS from 4th grade to 12th grade, and I've had so many people, teachers, staff, everyone, impact me over the years. People have come and gone throughout the years, but there are a few that have stood out to me just during my stay, and even after into my college years, and it's been a privilege just serving with them in the church. Dawn Eckerd was probably my most favorite elementary teacher. She was so caring. She'd always taught us hymns, and some of the hymns that she taught us in 6th grade, I still remember today. I know all the words to Stand Up for Jesus, and those words became an encouragement to me when my daughter was in the hospital for a month or two, and just standing up for Jesus wherever you can be. And thanks to her, I know all the words. Another person that stood out to me is Mr. Beard. And Mr. Beard was the fun English teacher. I mean, he taught us everything that that was in the curriculum, and he even taught beyond the curriculum. But he did it in such a fun, caring way that we always knew that we were loved and felt special. And like I said, these teachers have poured their lives into their students, and it's neat to be able to see to watch them continue that. If you're considering Carol, just put your kids in because you will not regret it.